What if the only thing standing between you and financial freedom is the way you think? Not your job, not your background, not your current bank account, but your mindset. Imagine waking up every day with absolute certainty that wealth is not just possible for you, it is inevitable. That every decision you make, every habit you build, and every thought you entertain is either moving you closer to abundance or pushing it further away. Most people spend their lives chasing money, struggling, stressing, and wondering why success seems reserved for others. But what if I told you that wealth doesn't begin in your wallet, it begins in your mind? The difference between those who build lasting wealth and those who don't is not luck, it's belief, discipline, and a powerful shift in thinking. Today, you're about to discover how to master your money mindset and take control of your financial future. Stay with me until the end, because the final lesson might completely change the way you see money forever, and once you see it, you can never go back. Lesson 1. Your thoughts shape your financial reality. The architecture of your financial life is designed first within the quiet corridors of your mind. We often mistake wealth for a purely external phenomenon, a collection of digits in a bank account or the ownership of physical assets, but these are merely the physical echoes of an internal conviction. If your subconscious is programmed with a scarcity software, no amount of hard labor or lucky breaks will ever be enough to keep you afloat. You must realize that your thoughts are not just passive observations of your current situation, they are the blueprints for your future. When you harbor thoughts like money is the root of evil, or I am just not good with numbers, you are effectively placing a ceiling on your potential before you even step out the door. This mental gravity pulls your ambitions back down to earth, ensuring that your reality stays comfortably within the bounds of your self-imposed limitations. To shift your financial reality, you must perform a radical audit of your internal monologue. Most people operate on a default setting inherited from parents, peers, or societal pressures that emphasize struggle over abundance. This poverty consciousness views the world as a pie of fixed size. If someone else gets a slice, there is less for you. To combat this, you must consciously pivot toward a mindset of infinite expansion. This means training your brain to stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "How can I make this work for me?" When you encounter a high-cost luxury or a massive investment opportunity, the scarcity mind says, "I can't afford that." The wealthy mindset, however, asks, "How can I afford that?" This simple shift in syntax forces your brain into a creative problem-solving state rather than a defensive shutdown state. The concept of neuroplasticity suggests that our brains are remarkably adaptable, and this applies to our financial behavior as well. By repeatedly focusing on possibility, you literally rewire the neural pathways associated with risk-taking and opportunity recognition. It is like tuning a radio. If you are tuned to the frequency of lack, you will only hear the static of obstacles. If you tune into abundance, you begin to pick up the signals of hidden markets, undervalued assets, and innovative solutions that others miss. This isn't mystical manifesting in a vacuum. It is the psychological reality that we see what we are looking for. If you believe wealth is attainable, your reticular activating system, RAS, in your brain will begin to highlight information that validates that belief, effectively turning your thoughts into a magnet for financial data and resources. Ultimately, wealth begins the moment you decide it is a logical and inevitable outcome for your life. This decision is a profound act of will that separates the dreamer from the achiever. You must reach a point where your internal vision of success is more real to you than the temporary limitations of your current environment. This requires a level of cognitive dissonance where you refuse to accept your current bank balance as the final word on your value or your future. When you align your thoughts with the frequency of wealth, your external world has no choice but to eventually reorganize itself to match that internal state. You are the governor of your own economy, and the legislation of your life is written in the language of your most persistent thoughts. Lesson 2. Develop a definite financial purpose. Vagueness is the silent killer of financial dreams. When someone says they just want to be rich, they are essentially saying nothing at all. The universe, and more importantly the human subconscious, does not respond to ambiguity, it responds to precision. A definite financial purpose acts as a North Star, providing a fixed point in a sea of distractions. Without a specific target, your energy is scattered across a dozen different directions, resulting in a life that feels busy but remains stagnant. You must define your financial objective with the same clarity a builder uses for a skyscraper. You wouldn't start stacking bricks without a blueprint, yet many people spend decades working without a clear number or a defined why. This lack of specificity is why most people find themselves in a perpetual state of getting by rather than getting ahead. The power of a definite purpose lies in its ability to filter your daily choices. When you have a clear financial goal, for example, I will generate $15,000 in monthly recurring revenue by December 31st, every invitation, every purchase, and every potential project is held up against that metric. If the action does not move the needle toward that specific purpose, it becomes much easier to say no. This level of clarity eliminates the decision fatigue that plagues the average person. You no longer have to wonder if you should take a certain risk or save a certain amount. The answer is already dictated by your purpose. This clarity creates a sense of urgency and momentum, turning a lukewarm wish into a burning obsession that can pierce through the walls of procrastination and doubt. Defining your why is the fuel that keeps the engine of purpose running when the initial excitement fades. Money in its rawest form is just paper and ink or digital bits. It has no inherent power to motivate the human spirit over the long haul. However, what money represents is infinite. Does it represent the freedom to never set an alarm clock again? Does it represent the ability to provide world-class education for your children or to fund a charitable foundation that changes lives? When your financial purpose is tied to a deep emotional why, you develop a level of resilience that is impenetrable. You stop viewing the accumulation of wealth as a chore and start seeing it as a mission. This emotional anchor prevents you from abandoning your plans when the market dips or when a business venture fails. To anchor this purpose, you must write it down and revisit it with religious fervor. There is a psychological phenomenon where the act of writing a goal bridges the gap between the abstract imagination and the physical world. By stating exactly how much you want, the date you intend to have it by, and what service or value you intend to give in exchange for it, you are creating a contract with yourself. This definiteness of purpose becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your mind begins to work on the problem in the background even while you sleep, connecting dots and identifying opportunities that align with your stated goal. In the world of wealth, clarity is power, and the person with the most specific plan usually ends up with the most significant results. Lesson 3. Build habits that attract wealth. Wealth is the cumulative byproduct of your daily rituals. While the media loves to celebrate the overnight success or the lucky lottery winner, the vast majority of sustainable wealth is built through the boring, repetitive, and disciplined execution of high-value habits. You are essentially the sum of what you do every day. If your habits include impulsive spending, passive consumption of entertainment, and avoiding financial statements, then your destination is inevitably financial mediocrity. Conversely, if you cultivate habits of automated saving, strategic learning, and rigorous budgeting, wealth becomes a mathematical certainty. The beauty of a habit is that it removes the need for constant willpower. Once a behavior becomes ingrained in your nervous system, you do it without thinking, allowing you to build wealth on autopilot. The most fundamental habit of the wealthy is the practice of paying yourself first. Most people receive their paycheck, pay their bills, buy their groceries, spend on entertainment, and then if there is anything left, they save. This is a recipe for remaining broke because there is rarely anything left. The wealth-attracting habit flips this script. The very first transaction after receiving income is a transfer to your investment or savings account. By treating your future self as your most important creditor, you force yourself to live on the remaining balance. This often sparks a secondary positive habit, the innovation habit. When you have less disposable income to play with, you are forced to become more creative with your remaining funds, or, better yet, find ways to increase your primary income to cover your desired lifestyle. Continuous education is another non-negotiable habit for those seeking financial abundance. In an economy that shifts as rapidly as ours, your earning capacity is directly tied to your learning capacity. The habit of spending 30 minutes a day reading a book on finance, listening to a podcast on market trends, or studying a new skill is the highest return investment you can make. This habit ensures that your knowledge never becomes obsolete. It allows you to see the gears of the economy moving before the general public notices. Wealthy individuals don't view education as something that ends at graduation. They view it as a lifelong daily hygiene, much like brushing their teeth. They understand that one single idea gleaned from a habit of study can be worth millions of dollars when applied correctly. Finally, the habit of value observation is what separates the wealthy from the working class. Most people are conditioned to be consumers. They walk into a store and think about how much they want a product. A wealth builder walks into a store and wonders, how is this business making money? Why is this product placed here? What problem does this solve for the customer? This habit of looking at the world through the lens of a producer rather than a consumer allows you to spot gaps in the market and investment opportunities in everyday life. Discipline, therefore, is not about deprivation. It is about choosing between what you want now and what you want most. By stacking these small daily disciplines, you create a compounding effect that eventually creates a financial fortress that no external storm can topple. Lesson 4. Eliminate fear and doubt. Fear and doubt are the primary thieves of human potential, operating as internal saboteurs that whisper lies of inadequacy into the ears of the ambitious. In the context of wealth, fear usually manifests in three forms: the fear of failure, the fear of loss, and the fear of judgment. These emotions are evolutionary leftovers designed to keep us safe from physical predators, but in a modern financial landscape, they function as a prison. When you are afraid to invest because you might lose money, or afraid to start a business because people might laugh at you, you are essentially choosing a safe life of quiet desperation over a risky life of massive reward. You must realize that the risk of staying exactly where you are is actually far greater than the risk of moving toward your dreams. Eliminating fear does not mean the absence of the emotion, it means the mastery of it. Courage is acting in spite of fear, not acting without it. Every great entrepreneur and investor felt the same pit in their stomach before their first major move. The difference is that they refused to let that feeling dictate their actions. To conquer fear, you must deconstruct it. Ask yourself, what is the absolute worst-case scenario? Usually the worst-case scenario is far less catastrophic than your imagination suggests. If a business fails, you are often left with more knowledge, a better network, and your dignity intact. By shining a light on the monsters of doubt, you find that they are mostly shadows that disappear when confronted with the light of logic and a well-defined plan. Confidence is the natural antidote to doubt, and confidence is a muscle built through the completion of small tasks. You cannot simply wish yourself into being confident. You must earn it through evidence. Start by making small financial commitments to yourself and keeping them. If you promise yourself you will save $50 this week and you do it, your self-trust grows. If you decide to read one chapter of a finance book and you do it, your doubt shrinks. Over time, these small wins accumulate into a robust sense of self-efficacy. You begin to realize that you are someone who does what they say they are going to do. This internal evidence becomes a shield that protects you when you eventually step into larger, more intimidating financial arenas. You must also silence the inner critic, that nagging voice that compares your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Doubt often stems from a sense of not being enough, but wealth building is a skill, not a genetic trait. Just as you wouldn't expect to play a piano concerto perfectly on your first try, you shouldn't expect to master the markets or business management instantly. Mistakes are not evidence of your incompetence, they are the tuition you pay for your financial education. When you stop viewing failure as a permanent identity and start viewing it as necessary data, the fear of it loses its power. Once you realize that the only true failure is the failure to try, the path to wealth becomes a series of interesting experiments rather than a terrifying gauntlet. Lesson 5. Surround yourself with success-oriented thinking. Human beings are fundamentally social creatures, and we possess mirror neurons that cause us to unconsciously mimic the behaviors, attitudes, and language of those we spend the most time with. This is known as the law of proximity. If you spend your time with people who constantly complain about the economy, gossip about celebrities, and view wealth as a matter of luck, you will inevitably adopt those same toxic viewpoints. Your financial thermostat is often set to the average of your 5 closest associates. If you want to increase your internal temperature for success, you must change your social environment. This doesn't mean you have to cruelly abandon old friends, but it does mean you must be intentional about who is allowed to influence your mindset on a daily basis. The search for success-oriented thinking should extend beyond your physical circle of friends. In the digital age, your environment is as much about the media you consume as it is about the people you talk to. You can surround yourself with the greatest minds in history through books, biographies, and long-form interviews. When you spend an hour reading the thoughts of a billionaire or a philosopher, you are effectively having a one-way mentorship session with them. Their patterns of thought begin to rub off on you. You start to see how they handle setbacks, how they identify value, and how they maintain discipline. By immersing yourself in a culture of high achievement, you normalize the idea of success, making it feel like a natural outcome rather than a distant miracle. Mentorship is a critical component of a success-oriented environment. A mentor provides a shortcut by allowing you to learn from their mistakes rather than your own. They can see the blind spots in your thinking that you are too close to recognize. However, a mentor doesn't always have to be a person you meet for coffee. A mentor can be a community of like-minded individuals chasing similar goals. Joining a mastermind group or a professional organization puts you in a pressure cooker of excellence. When you see others around you taking big risks and achieving big wins, it shatters your own limiting beliefs. You realize that if they can do it, so can you. This healthy peer pressure is one of the fastest ways to accelerate your financial growth. Finally, you must be the gatekeeper of your own mind. We are currently living in an era of information overload, much of which is designed to trigger fear, anger, or inadequacy to drive clicks. A success-oriented environment requires a strict media diet. Stop consuming news that focuses on tragedy you cannot control and start consuming content that focuses on opportunities you can exploit. Protect your mental space as if it were your most valuable asset, because it is. When your environment is saturated with growth, possibility, and strategic thinking, your mindset shifts from a defensive survival mode to a proactive creation mode. You begin to walk, talk, and think like the person you are becoming, and soon enough your external reality will have no choice but to catch up to your new social and mental standards. Mastering your money mindset is not about wishing for wealth, it's about becoming the kind of person who attracts and creates it. It's about understanding that money is a result, not a cause. When you change your thoughts, you change your actions. When you change your actions, you change your results. The truth is, financial success is not reserved for a chosen few. It is available to anyone willing to think differently, act consistently, and persist relentlessly. You don't need to have everything figured out today. You just need to take the first step, shift your mindset, define your purpose, and commit to growth. Remember, every wealthy individual once started exactly where you are now with a decision. A decision to think bigger, a decision to act boldly, a decision to believe in themselves even when no one else did. So the question is, what will you decide today? Will you continue thinking the same way and expecting different results, or will you take control of your financial future? Your journey to wealth begins in your mind. Change your mindset and you will change your life.